for Agricultural Centers of Excellence project for Rural Electrification Agency.
This is meant to extend the transformation in the power sector to our rural community dwellers, especially those that do not have grid extension, and is actually in pursuit of our resolve to ensure that no Nigeria is left out in our transformation in the power sector. It's not limited to just lighting up the households. It also includes ensuring productive use of equipment to be powered by solar sources.
The administration continues with approval for the funding of a 4 legacy road project, with the second carriageway of the Sokoto-Badagry Highway getting a new approval.
We have awarded the second carriageway in Kebbi, 258 kilometers, 3 lanes for 961 billion. And then in Sokoto, additional 120 kilometers, for 456 billion.
The council also approved the reviews of others, including the Biu Numa Road, Maraba Kefi Road, and Ikorodu Shagam Road.
And offer prayers for the
council members observed a minute silence in memory of a former member, late Navy Captain Caleb Olubolade retired, who served as Minister of Special Duties, Minister of State, FCT, and then Minister of Police Affairs under President Goodluck Jonathan administration.
May the soul of the departed rest in peace.
From the State House, Musbah Nanwahab, NC News.
Of recent, we've heard about the flooding in Maiduguri, and now we're joining Paul Nkujevana for an update on what is happening in Maiduguri. Paul Nkujevana, if you can hear me. Paul Nkujevana, if you can hear me, can you tell me the situation now in Maiduguri?
The impact of flooding as climate change and natural forces continue to take their toll. Communities such as Polo, Bulunkutu, Dala, Gwenje, and Bulabulin are among the worst hit, with residents lamenting the destruction of property and disruption to daily life. Many households are still battling to evacuate stagnant water from their premises, while others have been forced to relocate to higher ground or seek refuge with relatives.
It has receded so much.
I have not slept in my house last night. All our belongings are soaked. We just came to dry our property. We are seriously afraid of next rain.
In swift response, the Borno State Flood Control Committee has launched on-the-spot assessment to evaluate the scale of the damage and chart the next line of action.
I want to assure you, on behalf of the committee, that inshallah, if this project, gigantic problem, look at it, the span of 6 meters, 3 meters wide, has been completed, believing you, following the issue of flooding, believing you, it will be a thing of the past.
Meanwhile, Borno State Ministry of Environment is advocating for sustainable urban planning, continuous public sensitization, and stricter enforcement of environmental laws, particularly against building on floodplains, one of the major causes of recurrent flooding.
We are still appealing to the people to be patient with whatever work that is going on. By God's grace, in the near future, they might not experience such again.
As the rains persist, affected communities continue to hope for urgent government intervention, while fearing that the worst may still lie ahead. In Maiduguri, Paul Nkujevana, NTA News.
Thank you so much, Paul Nkujevana, for that report. Now, moving on, each year we are warned about Borno floods and how Maiduguri and environs are susceptible to flooding disasters. Now, let's bring in Nnamdi Odikwo at this point. Nnamdi, what's there to know about past flooding, especially in Maiduguri, and what are the experts saying about the way forward? Nnamdi.
Thanks, Juma. I'm actually going to limit myself to the impact of flooding in Maiduguri between 2022 and 2024. Of course, within this period, Borno State faced what was termed a disaster within a disaster. Terrestrial rains literally turned streets into rivers, swallowing farms, homes, and of course, claiming lives as well. In 2022, for instance, and that's alone, relentless rains had earlier overwhelmed the Ngada River, busting through Maiduguri's fragile defenses. We saw streets flooded, but then the streets were not just nature's fury alone. Years of clouded drains, deforestation, and unplanned urban sprawl had contributed to leaving many of the communities there in Maiduguri defenseless. In terms of impact, between 2022 and 2024, we saw over 100,000 homes submerged underwater, many sheltering families already displaced by violence. And in terms of human cost, I mean, that, of course, was considered crushing as well. At least 250 lives were lost, 1.5 million people displaced, some for the second, some for the third time. Crops meant to feed a region, hungry region, were destroyed as well. And with this flood, or with every flood, the Segu repeats, itself, with rescue teams scrambling, NGOs stretched thin, trying to help, and survivors as well feeling hopeless and looking for the way forward. But is there a way forward for Maiduguri? Yes, experts are calling for better drainages and improved early warning systems. They're also saying, look, government and the authorities need to invest more in flood barriers, as this is also an issue that has been typically and topically, canvassed for Jumai. Again, I would like to say, Jumai, just before I go, that Maiduguri has seen this disastrous flooding happen time and again, and I'm sure that residents are hoping that this time around, a fighting back will be more structured and intentional.
Indeed, Nnamdi Odipo, I hope that it will get better and people in Maiduguri that are just recovering from the last flood will be able to find succor through SEMA and NEMA, and they'll be able to live life pleasantly. And as flooding continues to pose a major threat across the nation, the question of preparedness is more critical. Now, more than ever tonight, we want to hear from you. How prepared do you think your community is to handle the impact of flooding? Is your area well prepared with adequate measures and awareness in place? Are there some efforts but still significant gaps, or is there a lack of plans and resources altogether? Let's know what you think. Join the conversation by scanning the QR code soon to be displayed on the screen. Click on the link and choose what option best describes the situation in terms of disaster readiness in your community. Meanwhile, the National Economic Council has approved renewed Hope Word-based development program to be funded by revenues accrued by government. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that the council also approved the strengthening of state emergency management agencies and the creation of local emergency operation centers across the country.
Mr. President has done extremely very well, and the reform policies of his administration are beginning to yield fruits, and the emphasis on impacting these dividends, direct impact on our people up to the grassroots, up to the common man on the street, which is the next stage of the program.
Some might be trading communities, and by focusing on their uniqueness and identifying at least 1,000 individuals in each of those wards, and they will be identified locally, not nationally, and then supported by the combination of both local, state, and federal governments, as provided for by Chapter 2 of our Constitution, specifically Section 13, which requires collaboration by all those in government. We believe this will catalyze economic activity in each of those wards.
5, as well as deployment of emergency equipment to some high-risk states, and above all, some continuous engagement and communication, and taking the national preparedness and response campaign to all 36 states and the federal capital. Of course, there are challenges, there are some weaknesses which are being worked on: drainage, delay in data from insecurity in some flood-prone areas, poor compliance.
The news continues shortly after this break. Do stay.
In the beating heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodimma's leadership has turned manifestos into reality, transformations that feels like a miracle. But progress needs peace, and in Imo, it's not left to chance. From land to sky to river deep, guardians are watching, protecting dreams and opportunity. At Orashi's quiet shore, hydropower is rising, set to energize a growing economy. The change is visible. New roads emerge, industry hums, communities come alive. At the center, a digital revolution. 500,000 young minds trained each year to build the future. As Orashi rises, so does Imo and the hopes of a hard-working people. A new Imo is on the rise.
Imagine lovely meals you can cook with these ingredients. You spend heavily, but no guarantee of a tasty meal. Not making a right choice of seasoning cube can ruin your meal, money, and confidence. For a tasty meal, do not compromise. Choose Gold.
Use Terra Gold for the rich, consistent taste your loved ones crave for. Good for soups, stews, and jollof. Terra Gold. 1 cube, endless possibilities.
Nivea Black and White Deodorant, now with 72-hour protection. But what does that mean? 3 cities in 3 days and no fear of sweat and odor. 120 dances with skin as smooth as the moves. Sweat, stain and odor protection. Nivea Black and White Deodorant. Skin is for embracing life. Nivea is for skin.
When malaria knocks you down, you can be sure parasites are having a party in your system.
Welcome to our new kingdom, guys!
Comel, an effective weapon against malaria. Attacking the parasite army directly to give you express relief and get you back on your feet effectively. Comel on. Malaria gone.
No buy am. But why? No see say this big bull bag of rice no get the new big bull holographic seal. Not true.
Introducing the Big Bull Holographic Seal Tape, your favorite authentic Big Bull rice, 50 kg and 25 kg. Now with holographic seal tape. This is to ensure you get the premium product from Big Bull Rice. Do not buy if the holographic seal tape is not on the bag or is broken. Big Bull Rice. Tasty rice nourished you.
The world needs moms. With a splash of golden Terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Change no thanks into yes please. Resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty family meals is all that matters. Where there are moms, there is love. Golden Terra oil, pour pure love.
TerraQ. Unwrap joy. Unleash taste.
Thanks for rejoining us. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the appointment of Mrs. Omotenioye Majekondumi as the new Director General of the National Council on Climate Change, NCCC. She succeeds Dr. Nkruka Maduke, the pioneer head of the council, appointed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in June 2024. Meanwhile, the president has also extended the tenure of the Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeni, by 1 year. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information Strategy, Bayo Onaniga, says the Comptroller General's tenure, which ends August 31st, 2025, will now end August 31st, 2026. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, has described the tenure extension of the Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Mr. Bashir Adewale Adini, as evidence of transformation at leadership. President of the Institute, Dr. Ike Neleku, notes that customs within 2 years under Adewale's watch witnessed a series of initiatives that are making the difference across global customs ecosystem. NIPR president, in a congratulatory letter on Thursday in Abuja, said Mr. Adeni, former vice president of the institute and currently vice chairman body of advisors of the Nigeria Reputation Management Group, has deepened and institutionalized professionalism in public service. Now, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is launching a special national housing scheme tailored specifically for women. Managing Director of the bank, Shehu Osman Osidi, revealed this at the ongoing 19th Africa International Housing Show in Abuja. Muplak Dakok reports that the bank is also pushing for a 500 billion naira recapitalization to strengthen its capacity to deliver sustainable housing for Nigerians.
August, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is rolling out a range of housing solutions, including a non-interest mortgage loan, a diaspora mortgage loan in partnership with NITCOM and the CBN, and a rent assistance scheme aimed at helping contributors to the National Housing Fund to become homeowners. Another initiative unveiled is a women housing project being developed in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs.
Everybody to be involved in delivering the housing projects under the scheme will be women, from the design architects to the engineers to the artisans and the laborers, all will be women. I am pleased to formally inform you that the deployment of the core banking application has been concluded. This is bound to improve how we serve our customers and process our business transactions.
With about 20 million housing deficit in Nigeria, discussion centered around how to tackle this deficit, with emphasis on the importance of public-private partnerships and affordable financing models.
FMBN remains our strongest instrument of delivering affordable mortgage finance in Nigeria. Its message is clear. Its recent progress is commendable, but the affordability challenge is far from solved. We must all push harder, innovate more, and stay focused.
With the support of the Federal Executive Council, the bank is seeking to raise at least 500 billion naira in new capital from the current 2.5 billion naira. In Abuja, Muplang Dako, NTA News.
Shippers Council has reiterated its commitment to partner with subnational governments in promoting efficient trade and logistics services across the country. The Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Council, Dr. Akuta Pius Ukeyema, stated this when he led a delegation on a courtesy visit to the Abia State Governor, Dr. Alex Oti, at his office in Umuahia. Chinyere Okoye reports.
The Nigerian Shippers Council, saddled with the responsibility of regulating economic activities in the shipping and port industry. To this end, the Council's visit to the Abia State Governor was aimed at strengthening collaboration to drive investments and improve infrastructure critical to trade facilitation. With emphasis on the importance of Abia State as a commercial hub in the southeast, especially in the areas of import, export, and trade, the Executive Secretary of the Shippers Council, Dr. Akuta Pius, acknowledged the significant contributions of Abia's business community and commended Governor Oti for creating a favorable environment for business to thrive. He also appealed for the support of the Abia State government in the development of inland dry ports.
It's important to situate this project within the wider context of the African Continental Free Trade Area, a transformative agreement that offers enormous income potential for Nigeria and sub-national economies like Abia State.
Governor Alex Oti, who gave a nod to the initiative, pledged the state government's readiness to work closely with the Nigerian Shippers Council.
So I want to thank you for your passion in ensuring that we bring some of these our dreams into fruition. But then I need us to step back a little bit and ask critical questions and provide answers for them.
The visit featured the exchange of souvenirs and group photographs, symbolizing a renewed partnership between the federal agency and the Abia state government. In Umuahia, Chinyerukwe, NTA News.
And Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang and former President of Sierra Leone, Ernest Bai Koroma, were among dignitaries who got emotional during a speech by a 16-year-old describing Dr. Stanley Uzochukwu's humanitarian impact in the lives of orphans and less privileged Nigerians. This was during an event to mark the 41st birthday of Dr. Uzochukwu, which he celebrated with the orphans in Jos. Priscilla Guranan reports that the celebrants also distributed items worth millions of naira to the less privileged as part of activities marking his day.
Dr. Uzochukwu, through Stanley Uzochukwu Foundation, had embarked on transforming the Jesus Only Friends International Orphanage, Jofin, Rukuba Road, Jos, Plateau State, after his attention was drawn to the dilapidated state of the home, hunger, educational and medical needs of the orphans and less privileged children in the home. At the inauguration of the multi-million naira project, 16-year-old orphan Mercy Luka, on behalf of others, delivered an emotional speech that left the governor, former president of Sierra Leone, and the audience in tears.
We pray for you. May your birthday be a memorial of the many lives you've touched. May God raise many more men like you.
Governor Mutfwang and former President Koroma commended Dr. Stanley Uzochukwu for his humanitarian gestures and urged other influential Nigerians to emulate the initiative.
By the grace of God, as government, we will be looking at, again, how the orphanage homes are being run on the plateau.
We hope and pray that from this group of people that we will have tomorrow governors, we will have local committee chairmen, doctors, and even presidents.
Dr. Uzochukwu, who was using the occasion to mark his birthday, announced the donation of his personal residence for orphanage.
By the help of God, Your Excellency, we will not stop with the Jofin orphanage. Once we get approvals from the Ministry of Women Affairs, immediately we can now start putting children in the house in refuge.
Highlights of the event included presentation of laptops to SSCE graduates with good results in WAEC and NECO and items worth hundreds of millions of naira. The philanthropist had earlier distributed rice, sewing and grinding machines and wheelchairs to widows, orphans and the physically challenged.
Over these 15 years he has been doing this. He has been doing this to us. Are we not grateful?
In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
The federal government is formalizing strategic plans to reduce the number of subjects in primary and junior secondary schools and also strengthen the curriculum for the purpose of enhancing learning at the basic levels of education. Now, this came to the fore during an education stakeholders forum, which doubled as a workshop on foundational learning organized by the Nigeria Governors Forum. Abubakar Akwanga reports.
It has become a now with disturbing consequences to see many children of school-age brackets gallivanting in the streets without formal education and those already enrolled lacking basic proficiency in compulsory subjects.
Let us move from diagnosing the problem to co-creating solutions that work. Let us walk the talk.
In 1960, the average GDP per capita in sub-Saharan Africa and South Korea were approximately the same, about $150. Today, South Korea's GDP per capita exceeds $36,000.
Concerned by this sad narrative, the Nigerian Governors Forum is now galvanizing key players in the education sector to marshal out plans in addressing these learning and technical gaps.
They are also critical and essential building blocks for all other education goals and aspirations through retention and acceleration from one level to the other.
We had the commissioners, the SUBEBs, and we sat down to see where are the overlaps, where do we need to work together, and where do we need to complement.
Panelists during a technical session called for national and global action in rewriting history of Nigeria's school systems and defining the future from guesswork to evidence-based solutions. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
We'll take a pause here as we join Adiola Kami Akere for more reports from our Lagos axis. Hello, Adiola. Adiola Kami Akere for more reports.
To foster effective collaboration between the legal community and the regulatory ecosystem driving Nigeria's digital future, the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, has organized a two-day workshop for attorneys general. Diana Jala reports that the discuss also captured streamlining of taxation in the communication sector and a review of the Communication Act of 2003.
Communication sector remains a vital enabler of innovation, commerce, governance, and inclusion.
As Nigeria accelerates its digital transformation underpinned by technologies such as AI, IoT, and high-speed connectivity, the challenges will grow more complex, but so too will the opportunities. To succeed, we must adopt a whole-of-government approach that leverages the strengths of all institutions, federal and states.
Declared open by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi SEN, he described digital transformation as a panacea for improvement in socio-economic development of the nation.
Number one thing is macro aspect before the micro, and it is important that we have people who will discuss, people who are knowledgeable, people who will be called upon to drive the various provisions of these laws or acts to come together and see how to advance the cause further. And in this regard, to ensure that Nigerians of all categories are kept informed.
Harmonizing tax elements, regulatory overlap, and protection of critical national information infrastructure were some of the topical issues treated at the workshop.
Based on the mandate given to us by Mr. President, that the priority for these reforms are: number one, people-centric; number two, growth focus. How can you stimulate growth? And then how can we gain efficiency?
Building and driving synergy in regulating communications for the digital transformation of Nigeria is the theme of the workshop. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Africa's leading telecommunications giant, MTN, has hosted the Super Falcons of Nigeria in Lagos for winning the Africa Cup of Nations for a record 10th time in a thrilling match that showcased the true Nigerian spirit. Olumide Guntola has the details.
Still basking in the euphoria of Mission X accomplished, the Super Falcons of Nigeria were treated to a sumptuous breakfast in Lagos by Africa's leading telecommunications giant, MTN. The two brands' vocal meeting point was a success story propelled by the true Nigerian spirit.
Extremely proud to celebrate the Super Falcons today, who embody the spirit of Nigeriano they carry last. We celebrate the Super Falcons. They're an amazing set of ladies. They inspire us, inspire both men and women on all to see all the potential and realize all the potential that we as Nigerians have.
We want to inspire the girls. We want to make them, to get them to a point where they keep doing what they've done and do more of it. And we also want to inspire the generations to come. So that is why we remain committed to supporting football in Nigeria.
This will inspire them more to know that at least Nigerians are happy with what they are doing. And by the grace of God, we will continue to see that at least we give them all the support they need so that next year we'll be back here again.
This celebration and announcement of a cash reward of 150 million naira powered by MTN is a pointer that hard work pays.
We are grateful for winning this 10th title, but we are not content.
We want to take this to the next level. We want to be global contenders.
Very big thanks to MTN and thanks for supporting us. I will continue to do more. I will promise to make you guys happy.
MTN, they were there before all the success. They started a story around the Super Falcons. They created a TV show. They created social media presence to believe in the girls. Now everybody is tapping into the investment.
The event also created an atmosphere for the players to socialize. In Lagos, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
And those are reports from Lagos. The network news will continue after this break. To stay with us.
Today's fast-paced world, staying ahead demands peak performance from our bodies.
Like never before, our bodies need an optimum supply of essential nutrients, and Supermalt supports our daily nutritional needs.
Supermalt has 20 essential vitamins, minerals, and natural extracts for overall health and wellness. One Supermalt a day gives you energy and vitality, improves your mental performance, and supports your immunity.
My morning ritual starts here, surrounded by life-made furniture. From my wardrobe to my bed, Life-Made Furniture's whole house customization designs every piece to perfection. I love that in Lagos, Port Harcourt, Abuja, Ibadan, and Kano, there's Life-Made Furniture.
For a whole house customization and furniture projects, call 081 2000 6000 or visit elifemade.com. Life-Made, your life made forever.
Guys, food is ready.
Suitable for jollof rice, stew, spaghetti, and yam portage. Cooked to impress.
Start your day and have a good time.
Kivo Krima.
Oh, where you need to have the break time.
Kivo Krima.
If not tea, or garita.
Kivo Krima.
Good, tasty food is worth living for. Worried about your oil every time you enjoy your favorite meal? Introducing Smart Balance. Smart Balance rice bran oil is rich in gamma-oryzanol. Several studies suggest that gamma-oryzanol may contribute to the reduction of bad cholesterol. Golden Terra Smart Balance oil. Good food, no worries.
Baba, I'm tired of losing on sport bets, so how do I improve my luck?
Olu, you don't need any luck with N1 Bet Casino. With N1 Bet, you get triple luck.
You know feel lose anyway. N1 Bet's not the way. You get 20% cash back when you're betting no entire. You go get 100% on your first 3 deposits. And each deposit will be your chance to win 500k jackpot.
Play games and win with N1 Bet Casino.
Happiness, nourishing family. Golden penny, yummy golden penny, delicious golden penny. Serving happiness, golden penny, yummy golden penny, delicious golden penny. Say you want stuck in between. Golden penny.
Golden Penny, home of good foods, serving happiness, nourishing families. Yum.
You're welcome back, and Maria is standing by with happenings in the world of business. Maria?
Well, we'll start with growing the economy through SDGs. Ahead of the expiration of the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030, more Nigerians are being drafted by the United Nations to contribute to government efforts towards attaining the SDGs before 2030, with focus on growing local economies.
You can attract investment. With peace, you can trade very well. With peace, you can also deal with infrastructure issues.
We need to re-emphasize the essence of emphasizing excellence and meritocracy so that we can grow the economy in the diverse sectors of our national strata of life.
The Nigeria equity market closed on a positive note on Thursday, building on the week's bullish momentum as key performance indicators recorded significant gains. The all-share index climbed to 139,863.52 points, reflecting increased investor appetite for stocks, while market capitalization rose to an impressive 88.42 trillion naira, adding value to shareholders' wealth. A total of 1.1 billion shares were traded across 37,370 deals, with the total transaction value hitting 33.65 billion, highlighting strong market activity and investor confidence. Analysts attribute the upbeat performance to improved corporate disclosures and renewed fallen portfolio interest in key sectors such as banking, telecoms, and industrial goods. That's it on business. It's back to Jumai for the rest of the news.
Thank you so much, Maria, for the update in the business world. Now, in Nigeria, the dream of a university degree is on the rise, with thousands of young minds racing towards academia as their only path to success. Yet, across the world's most advanced economies, technical and vocational skills are the bedrock of innovation and growth. So just how deep does Nigeria's obsession with university education run? And what does it reveal about our future workforce? In today's fact sheet, Olainka Ojo delves into a decade of JAMB application trends, uncovering the numbers behind our academic choices and the critical questions they raise. Olainka?
Thank you, Jumai. Looking at the last 10 years, one will realize that there have been a huge improvement both in the conduct of examinations and admission processes by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB. Now, let's take a look at the last 10 years. This is from 2015 to 2025. In 2015, the number of candidates that registered for both UTME and direct entry were 1.6 million. And in 2025, the number increased to more than 2 million. This is all thanks to the introduction of what is known as the Central Admission Processing System, CAPS, by JAMB. And this process has brought fairness, equity, and transparency into admission processes. Let's now take our radar to what is known as data for UTME preference. In 2025, which is this year, the number of candidates that registered for degree program were 1.8 million. And for admission into colleges of education is put at 22,000. But with attention now shifting to technical and vocational skills, perhaps the story may change from next year. It's back to you, Jumai, for the continuation of the news.
Thank you, Olayinka, for that in-depth analysis of education system in Nigeria. Now, the chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, has received a high-level delegation from the Nta Network of Electoral Commissions on a post-election follow-up and needs assessment mission to Nigeria. Timothy Yusuf reports that both parties reaffirmed commitment to electoral reform at the meeting held at the council's headquarters in Abuja.
Thank you so much. This high-level delegation from the ECOWAS network of electoral commissions on a post-election follow-up and needs assessment mission to Nigeria has a major agenda. It is to review Nigeria's implementation of recommendations made by the ECOWAS Election Observation Mission following the 2023 general election.
I think you've done well to keep Nigeria together.
The chairperson of Liberia's National Elections Commission and head of the ECONEC mission, Mrs. Davidetta Brown-Lansana, led the delegation. She emphasized the importance of the mission, describing it as a routine but critical component of democratic consolidation in West Africa.
It appears that much has been done by IPAC to ensure political parties conform to the norms of electoral processes, and that we all sustain the dividends, the peace dividends in Nigeria.
That we have discussed and believing that some of the discussions we had here will go a long way to deepen democracy, not just in Nigeria, but on the entire West African sub-region.
ECOWAS had issued 37 recommendations. 13 of which were directed at INEC and other critical stakeholders, including the political parties under the banner of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC. Timothy Yusuf, Nta News.
The Court of Appeal sitting in Akure has upheld the victory of All Progressives Congress APC and its candidate Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa in the November 16, 2024 governorship election in Ondo State. In a unanimous verdict, the three-member panel of justice, led by Justice Nipar Yagata, dismissed the appeals filed by the People's Democratic Party (PDP), African Democratic Congress (ADC), Allied People's Movement (APM), and the Social Democratic Party (SDP) for lacking in merit. Paul Omukogo reports.
Appeal upheld the decision of the Ondo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal delivered on June 4, 2025, which affirmed the election of Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa. In a unanimous verdict, the three-man panel of justices at the Appellate Court dismissed the appeals seeking the nullification of the November 16, 2024 governorship election in Ondo State. Court held that the appellants failed to prove the allegations of non-compliance with the Electoral Act beyond reasonable doubt, affirming the tribunal's judgment in its entirety. The appeal court awarded a cost of 1.5 million naira against the appellants. Aiyedatiwa described the judgment as a welcome development and commended the judiciary.
The court is an integral part of our democracy.
None of the four appellants were on ground to react to the appellate court ruling. In Akure, Paul Omukago, NTA News.
Women from the 6th Area Council in the Federal Capital Territory, under the auspices of the National Council for Women's Societies, have adopted the First Lady's Every Home a Garden initiative in a sensitization to what it calls backyard farming. NCWS and allies train women in different farming techniques to ensure healthy food and bumper yield. Ngozi Technical reports.
On the agenda of the federal government is to attain full security for the teeming Nigerian population, advocating for more women participation in agriculture by cultivating any little space around their home. Participants were urged to grow what they eat.
It's very important to get the women from the grassroots. It is something we saw the president's wife did, and which is very important.
Be sure of the kind of food that is being produced in the family, because you know your source. You are farming it yourself.
The resource person, Sunday Obasi from the Ministry of Agriculture, tutored the women on the best technique to adopt, including how to produce and use organic manure as against the harmful chemicals sold in the market.
There are a lot of availability of the manure within our community that will take to make sure that our backyard farming grow well, that with high quality, value and nutrition.
I'm going to send out to all other members so that they themselves can go and learn what we have learned.
Knowledge, they say, is power. And from the foregoing, the women are eager to implement the knowledge and reap the accrued benefits. Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
We'll take another break. When we return, Francisca will be standing by with Sports Update.
Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Are you ready?
Join us on Reshaping Democracy, a groundbreaking program on the network service of the NTA, where citizens get the chance to ask ministers, heads of ministerial departments, agencies, and other top government officials questions on their performance and delivery of mandates. With no sector of limits, conversations build around bridging communication gaps for feedback and effect as our guests engage with the people they serve.
How does ND foster partnerships with organizations, government agencies, NGOs, among others?
As our leaders give account to citizens' inquiries on good governance, tune in to Reshaping Democracy, a creative concept coming up every Tuesday evening at 10:05 p.m.
This is Reshaping Democracy.
Hello and welcome to Sports Update. Defending champions the Tigers of Nigeria and the Lionesses of Cameroon will renew rivalry in the quarter-final of the ongoing 2025 Women's Afro Basket in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, few minutes away from now. The Tigers won their 2 group games against Rwanda and Mozambique to seal a place in the last 8. Their next opponent, Cameroon, booked their spot on Wednesday night after a convincing 85-64 win over Angola in the qualification round. The Tigers are chasing a record-extending 5th consecutive AfroBasket title, having won the tournament in 2017, 2019, 2021 and 2023. Now, in what promises to be one of the most headline-grabbing transfer of the summer, Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen has now completed a sensational move to Galatasaray on a permanent deal for a fee in the region of €75 million, a signing that obliterates the Turkish Super League's all-time transfer record. The 26-year-old striker lit up Serie A with Napoli and became one of Europe's most sought-after forward, and is signed for Galatasaray with a staggered payment structure. He's now poised to bring his stardom to Istanbul for the long term after a successful loan spell with the club last season. Now, Nigeria's Super Eagles B were held to a 2-2 draw by Zanzibar in an intense CHAN 2024 preparatory friendly played on Thursday afternoon. The match saw Nigeria take on 2-goal lead in the first half, one only for the host to fight back with a spirited second-half performance. Nigeria will face Senegal in their CHAN Group D opener on Tuesday, August 5 at Aman Stadium, Zanzibar, aiming for a strong start against the defending champions. But as a size of our package, it's back to Jemai.
Thank you, Francisca. So much happening in the world of sports. And now let's take a look at what's happening in the weather prospects for Nigeria and the rest of the world.
Thank you for joining us on the weather forecast. I am Theodora Itson. Temperatures are forecast to remain in their low 30s in parts of the north and in the north central region, while high 20s are anticipated in parts of the southern region where cooler winds are expected. Going into the morning hours, rains are anticipated in parts of the southeast inland and coastal belts of the country, including parts of the Federal Capital Territory, Nasarawa, Niger, Kwara, Plateau, as well as isolated thunderstorms in parts of the northern region. Going into the afternoon and evening hours, moderate rains are anticipated in the northern region of the country, while the north central and the southern region, light rains are anticipated. Stand by for a detailed temperature forecast across the country. Thank you for watching.
And now our survey results are in. We asked you, how prepared do you think your community is to handle the impact of flooding? 76.2% of respondents picked not prepared at all, meaning they think their communities lack a plan of action or simply lack resources. Another 22.8% of respondents ticked partially prepared, meaning some efforts are being made, but gaps remain. None of the respondents picked well prepared, where adequate measures and awareness are in place. And with the survey result, that's it on NTA Network News tonight. Thanks so much for your time. I am Jumoy Yusuf.
Long before the beam of satellites, the variety of streamers, the bustling markets of Idumota, Iweka and Asaba production centers, there was the Nigerian Television Authority, Nigeria's first and finest window to the world. Established by an act in 1977, NTA has informed, educated and entertained millions as Africa's largest TV network and the storyboard of a nation.
Fruit and debts every day, nothing else. How can I respect you?
NTA's landmark productions became a mirror of identity, tradition and resistance, and its stars a household name. These weren't just actors, they were pathfinders. NTA was their stage and their launchpad into history. Language, morals, and a sense of national cohesion were the driving force of our